In the not too distant future, the Earth has undergone a great recession. The Earth's resources are limited, and the majority of the world's population is living in extreme poverty. Fortunately, for even the poorest among them, there is a virtual online world where they can escape their miserable existence, if even just for a short time. This world, called the Oasis, people can be whoever they choose to be. At least this is the case until the death of the Oasis creator, James Halliday, leaves the online world in an uncertain state. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline is a dystopian science fiction novel about a young man and an impossible quest. With the death of Oasis creator James Halliday, a video is released announcing a contest to find the heir for the Oasis universe. This sets a group of friends on a quest to find hidden keys, pass gates, and find Halliday's Easter egg before the evil Sorrento and his corporation can find and monopolize the online world. When I heard that there was this amazing science fiction book that Steven Spielberg was planning on making into a movie, I decided I had to read it before the movie came out. And come on, if it's something that Spielberg is interested in, then there's probably something really interesting going on inside. I'm so glad I picked it up. Ready Player One is one of those books that's hard to place in a single category. It's definitely science fiction. It takes place about 30 years in the future and actually starts in Oklahoma City, but it's also a dystopian novel about a dying world and has elements of fantasy that take place in the virtual world. And there are tons and tons of 80s nostalgia all rolled up into this book. For me personally, as a child of the 80s, I loved that the characters had to interact with 80s trivia throughout all their quests. And you might think that that would limit the audience for this book. However, I read this with my 12-year-old son, and he loved all of the references to old gaming systems, old Easter eggs hidden in video games, as well as movies and the toys from the era. But even if you don't recognize all these references, which are in and of themselves kind of Easter eggs, you can still get caught up in all the action. The book moves quickly and has plenty of fighting. There's a race against an evil corporation, there's murder, there's espionage, keeps anybody interested. Of course, the majority of all this action takes place in a virtual world where these friends have created characters of themselves and they have never actually met in real life. So it kind of adds to the mystery, the mistrust, and the intrigue. Ernest Cline has done a great job of creating a book with mass appeal. Anyone who's fascinated in the future of technology, especially virtual reality, anyone who wants to read about the possible contributions of this technology and even the consequences that we can suffer because of it, and how it would affect our society. The story would appeal to anyone who's interested in 80s pop culture for sure, the history of gaming, or anyone who just fancies themselves a part of the geek culture that is about today. There's a little bit of everything in this book. It references the Cold War. The characters go on fantasy like quests through different worlds. There are hidden identities, and there's even a little bit of romance. Ready Player One is one adventure you definitely don't want to miss.